Hey guys, my name is Ray, aka Remcree, and I'm here to make an anime tier list! Well, anime convention tier list! A little bit about myself. I am a cosplay photographer. I travel across the country doing anime conventions. Most of the anime conventions I do are on the West Coast. I am stationed here in California. If you look over there, those are all my badges that I've accumulated over the years. So I've been going to conventions for a little over more than a decade, and I enjoy it. I enjoy going to conventions. All right. When I go through this tier list, I'm going through the lens of a cosplay photographer. I'll talk about the different advantages it has, also the comfortability of the con, what sets it apart from the other cons. And there's going to be a lot of different cons that are on here. Some of them are different in size. I think the smallest con I have on here is probably Kumoricon in Portland. The biggest con on here is obviously Anime Expo. And I'm going to impart some things that I enjoyed about each con, some things I didn't enjoy about each con, and I'm going to put them in a tier list. Because it's a tier list. Funny enough, when it comes to Tier Maker, the website I'm using today, they did not have an anime conventions tier list, so I had to make this from scratch. All right. Overall, I'm only doing 11 cons. These are actual full-blown conventions that you could get a hotel room at and travel to. And with that, let's get into the tier list. So the first one I'm going to tackle is actually the biggest one on this goddamn list. All right. I am going to tackle Anime Expo. Now, most people would think that this would go up here in the S tier because it's the biggest one, all that. But in terms of convention and enjoyment, this actually goes here in the B tier. One of the key things I'll say is that when it comes to Anime Expo, it is the biggest anime convention on North America. Absolutely huge. But the thing that detracts from it is that since it's the biggest one, it's the most crowded. When it comes to me as a cosplay photographer, there are like probably 2 good spots to shoot at Anime Expo, one of which is a parking garage, and it detracts from my enjoyment of the con immensely if I don't have any unique places to shoot. So a couple people could argue that there's cosplay backdrops in the convention itself. But those backdrops have been used for the last decade, and they are beat to all hell. The fact that you have to go through an hour line just to get inside is brutal in itself. Area around the con isn't the cleanest. It's smack dab in the middle of downtown LA. Overall, Anime Expo, as a convention, I have to put it at B. As much as like there's a lot of great international talent that come in and like you could work with them at con that way, the vibes just aren't there. Now, if Anime Expo is a B, what do I consider to be the best of the best when it comes to conventions? And quite possibly my favorite is Fanime. Oh wow, they really as far as anyone's concerned, that's Ime, but Fanime is quite possibly my favorite con I go to when it comes to anime conventions. The biggest thing that Anime Expo lacks when it comes to conventions is like a sense of community. Fanime is ran by fans for fans, and it's been consistently great in every iteration I've ever been to. When it comes to photography, there's 3 great parks that surround the con, and the con center itself has some good pockets of light that you can manipulate. There's a photo alley, which is like cosplay photographer Skid Row, where people just hang out and shoot out there. But then you have the luxury of going to different parks. There's actually a nice little creek that you could shoot out there, and it's phenomenal. I love Fanime. If you have a con to go to on the West Coast, if you come to any California con, I actually say don't go to Anime Expo, go to Fanime. Fanime just has a better sense of community there. One convention that's on this list that I have a really soft spot for, mainly because it's the first convention I did content for, is Anime Impulse. Now, Anime Impulse isn't your stereotypical con. Anime Impulse is a subsidiary of the Asian American Expo. And when it comes to Impulse, because it's a subsidiary of the Asian American Expo, it has its own separate event alongside of Asian American Expo. And Asian American Expo is where a lot of Asian vendors come in and sell things at very cheap prices. The fun thing to see at Anime Impulse is seeing Asian families go to Asian American Expo to buy like Calpico cases for $5 for 20. Their kids come to Anime Impulse to nerd out and buy anime stuff. It's a great vibe. The street vendors, it's like 66 night market without the 66 night market price. I highly suggest Anime Impulse, but it's not like you go and buy a hotel room over here con. It's more of like a commuter con more than anything. That's the drawback, but I thoroughly enjoy Anime Impulse. This right here is solely bias on my end when it comes to conventions, but Anime Los Angeles, as misleading as the title is, I want to put it here in S, because I love Anime Los Angeles so much, and there's such a great community culture to it. But lately, since it moved from Ontario to Long Beach, I'm going to put it in A tier. One of the cool things about Anime Los Angeles is that we have a ribbon sharing culture for the badges. Now, if you look over here behind me, a lot of those long badges that have all those ribbons, those are ribbons from ALA. Anyone at the con can have a ribbon. And some ribbons, they have challenges that people have to receive the ribbon. Not only do you have, you could have a trivia thing, you could have a physical challenge. There's actually some real deep cut ribbons that happen in the party life. I love the culture of it. When it was Ontario, that was when it was peak. That's when I would call Anime Los Angeles an A tier. But since it came to Long Beach, I haven't really felt that same community that I got when it was in Ontario. Kumoricon. I love this con. It treated me well, but I have to put it in C tier. Kumoricon usually happens around November, and November, October, one of those 2 months. And the thing that is awesome about Kumoricon is that the sunburst maples in Portland are changing. The leaves are changing color, and if you are a jaded Southern Californian that has never seen leaves change color, seeing sunburst maples in full bloom, like I've never seen hues of violet and red and yellow that look alive, and that's the thing that I loved about Kumoricon. But as far as the convention itself, it's a little lacking. Keep in mind that this is a tier list of all the heavy hitters that I've been to, and it's not to say that Kumoricon is bad. It's that it's a small con, and unless you want to travel to Portland and just visit the sites, it's not a convention that I would recommend traveling to. It's not bad. It's just not recommendable. Now, this con is small. It barely started on the West Coast. It's one of those things where this is purely my bias. But Magwest, S tier. I love Magwest. Alright, Magwest was nothing but great to me. Mainly because it's short for music and gaming. And the thing that sets it apart from any other con that I've been to, they have a jam room where they have instruments that anyone could go in and play. And then you're just playing video game music with people, and you're just jamming out. And is it the greatest con ever? Not really. But as far as music and gaming goes, if you play music, if you enjoy gaming, I highly recommend Magwest. as far as anything goes, it is a mega small con. It is probably probably like even smaller than Kumoricon. But then as far as me being a musician and me enjoying retro games the way I do, Magwest has a special place in my heart, and I put it in S tier because this is my tier list, not your tier list, okay? Alright. One con that I will show for is Kawaiikon in Hawaii. Now, I'll put this in A tier. As far as anything goes, like, the programming's awesome. They have a gaming area, and they have video game tournaments at this con. And the coolest thing I've ever seen is that rather than just have a karaoke setup, they had a rock band setup. As far as Kawaiikon goes, they have a awesome rooftop where it's great for photos. Amount of people that were there wasn't completely overbearing, but if you were trying to get a ticket on Saturday, you were waiting in that line for hours. But then as far as anything goes, I love Kawaiikon. Kawaiikon's great. Now when it comes to Katsucon is quite possibly my favorite East Coast con I've ever been to. It's a strong sense of community. A lot of memes get made at Katsucon. It's just pure unadulterated fun. The thing I love about Katsucon is that when it comes to photos, there's a lot of scenic backdrops that you could use outside of the convention, sometimes inside, if it's not too crowded. The years I've went, it was crowded as all hell, but I've had so much fun not only taking pictures at Katsucon, but also just participating and having fun with the community there. So Katsucon has S tier ranks all around. I love the con. Moving on to Anime NYC. We're putting in B tier. Now, when it comes to Anime NYC, there's some things that I enjoy about it, some things I don't enjoy about it, but one of which is one of the things I enjoy about it is that it's trying to be Anime Expo on the East Coast, and it's big, it's huge as all hell, but it's crowded as fuck. There's actually some great photo places that you could go when it comes to Anime NYC. It's right next to like a subway stop. It's right next to Highline, and like the Highline is scenic as all hell. But the convention itself, other than there's like two places to shoot. It's either next to the windows or in the bottom street where that's where people go to shoot. Anywhere else in there is pretty trash. So like it has a similar issue that Anime Expo has, where there's a lot of people that go to it. That's great, but there's not many places you could shoot. As far as Anime NYC goes, I enjoyed my time there. The people I hung out with are amazing at Anime NYC. But as far as conventions goes, I have to put it in B tier, the same as Anime Expo, because it just wasn't it. You know, like I suggest it if you're on the East Coast and you want to go to a con, but then it's just big. Let's go with Lvl Up Expo. Lvl Up Expo. I have to put it in C tier. I love the concept of Lvl Up Expo. It's great. My only gripe with it is that the video game tournaments organization is so haphazard. There's not many great places to shoot. Like, it's more video game focused than anime focused. But I was waiting like 2 hours to get into a TFT tournament to have someone tell me that I was canceled. And then I went to an after party afterwards, and then one guy that was waiting with me went up to me, go like, "Where were you? We started the tournament." And then I was annoyed. So, the event itself and the people that showed up to Lvl Up Expo, awesome. But my personal gripe with it is that the tournament organizers are not good at their job. So I was annoyed at that. All right. This one is gonna be a little weird. This one's Crunchyroll Expo. And I'm actually gonna put it in A tier. Some people are gonna think I should put it in B tier with Anime Expo and Anime NYC, but the thing that makes it a step above that is that it's exactly where Fanime is, and the amount of shoot locations, the community aspect from Fanime carries over to Crunchyroll, makes them a tier above Anime Expo and Anime NYC, but below Fanime in my book. Great programming. It didn't feel crowded, and I enjoyed that. Some people might have some gripes about that, like that detracts from the appeal to the con, but because they were so staunch on protocols the last time I went to Crunchyroll Expo, I didn't feel shoulder to shoulder with people, and that added to my enjoyment. Actually, I like in conventions, but then I do not like having to be a sardine in a hallway. So Crunchyroll Expo, awesome in that regard. Now, this next one, I love Sakuracon. Okay? Sakuracon is in the same tier as Fanime, as conventions I would highly suggest to people to go to. When it comes to Sakuracon, it has some of the most unique photo shoot locations for any place that's on this list. Was it? There's at least 17 good locations that you could shoot at Sakuracon. Most of which are concrete walls. Keep that in mind. But then it's just when it comes to the con, it's one of the very last like 24/7 cons. The community is amazing. And the thing that makes me enjoy this con the most, and it's such a weird thing, but the 24/7 mahjong room that exists at Sakuracon, it's just so fun because I get to go, when I go to that room, you put down your initials like it's a poker room, and then as you're waiting for your for a table to play mahjong against people, they're playing reruns of Saki and Kaji, and I enjoy that. I enjoy the shit out of that. By far, some of the best vibes when it comes to community that I enjoy, and yeah, nothing but love and respect to any of the organizers, volunteers that put these events together. Is this list trash? Tell me in the comments. So, if you enjoyed that, make sure you click the subscribe button, click the notification bell. Yeah, I'm going to be creating more content. Do probably like a photo guide to each of these events. The thing that I want to know is, what's your favorite con? And what do you enjoy about it? Alright? These are the cons I've been to that could be considered like travelable cons to some respect. See you in the comment section. Like and subscribe. Take it easy. Bye.